one is Netflix. And yeah, I didn't know you were invested in Netflix. I thought you were invested in all except them. But if you could also run us through what Netflix is about.
Right. So Netflix is, I guess, a simpler business to understand. Are you a subscriber of Netflix as well? Don't.
I do have access to Netflix.
Okay. I wouldn't ask an additional question on that, but it's all right because what Netflix is basically is now the new TV network of the future, and is what I really like about Netflix is their management actually. Because when we see the history of Netflix, when Netflix first started out, they are DVD by mail business. So meaning that, they're basically just having DVD and then they're renting it out without a store. So then they are a blockbuster, online blockbuster, and they will just send out the DVD to you. And then after you finish watching, you send them back. To them, they started out that, but when they already reach quite a big size from their DVD by mail business and is profitable and they're beating Blockbuster from it, the management decide that they're gonna change the whole business model and move to streaming, when they already know that if they move online and stream the videos directly, they are in direct competition with their DVD by mail business. So they are a management that's willing to give up their profitable business right there and try something that is at the time still unproven and could potentially kill their own business. So that's what I admire about them. And they continue to be such a company that they don't mind to create and disrupt different industry. So they disrupt the movie rental business. And after moving online, they disrupt cable TV. And now we can see that they're trying to disrupt the Hollywood studio themselves. So because they have entered into the self-create content, right? They're funding a lot of new shows. I think almost every week I'm seeing on my Netflix new shows coming out from them. So they want to become part of Hollywood, and I think they're certainly moving towards that direction. And they have already created many award-winning shows. Their movie, not so much. I haven't found one that I really like from them, but their series are quite pretty decent, and they are able to sort of localize. You can see that content here in Asia are more geared towards the Asian audience, and the stuff in the US would be more for their audience. And over here, you can see that they're funding a lot of Asian content through the Korean TV series, and also recently even shows from J-Cho as well, right? So I see them gonna be the next cable giant, but instead they are not limited geographically. They can be the cable giant for the whole world, which is the whole world except China lah, but that's great. That's good enough.
China is another one.
China have their own, so they have no shortage of content.
I think Netflix has definitely grown a lot in recent years. My concerns with them is on the content creation side, they have definitely been improving. We have to give them credit for that. But I guess in the beginning, it was actually a platform where they were purchasing the rights and the distributorships to other people's content instead, such as Disney, right? And then when Disney started launching their own streaming service, Disney Plus, I think it was late last year, fairly recent. They were starting to withdraw the Disney content from Netflix. So that is definitely a concern that I would have in terms of Netflix future growth. I personally, so I did mention I didn't like two stocks out of this 5. Netflix is the other one. And I think it's just when we go into the numbers later on, it's really because of how the numbers has been. But I do agree with you. The whole business model is, it does look fantastic in terms of growth so far. And the management has been really, really visionary in daring to do things that other people might not dare to do, and disrupting their entire business, innovating. And even when they started to see that content was being put and there were lots of competitors coming up, I think it wasn't just Disney Plus, there was also Hulu, I think Amazon as well, right? So lots of competition in the streaming field, but at the moment, Netflix is still number one. I would say they're still the king out of all of the competitors right now. Although
in terms of streaming, yeah. In terms of number of subscribers, if I remember correctly, the last count they have is around 180 plus, 180, close to 180 subscribers. But I would say that you're right. Of all the 5 stocks, I would say Netflix is more of a riskier stocks. So it's definitely not a stock that I would start with. But I bought Netflix because in conjunction with my purchase of Disney as well. I own Disney as well. If you compare the two companies together, I would argue now Disney might be more undervalued, mainly because if you see the market cap of Netflix and Disney, Netflix is actually having a higher market cap than Disney, which to me it doesn't really make sense. Yes, Netflix is good, but the content king is still Disney, and and it's not like Disney is a company that is just sitting behind its traditional company and refuse to change. They are changing as well, and with Disney Plus, just launching for just a few months, they are already at around 50 million subscribers. So that's quite impressive. And but in the whole grand scheme of things, I don't think this business is a one winner take all kind of business, unlike social media. Because in the past, we don't watch just one TV channel, right? There's going to be multiple TV channel. And Disney by itself, because of that Disney brand, they have to be more family oriented, right? Even the adult show has to be more family oriented, right? And you can see that Netflix shows are more risque, nudity everywhere. So that's more suited for the adult audience, I guess. And so we can have both channel. And if you compare, even if you subscribe to Netflix and Disney Plus together, the bill is still gonna be less than your StarHub last time.
I actually don't have Disney Plus. I don't think it's available in our region yet, right? But
no.
So I have Netflix, I have View, and the cost is so much more. I think that in terms of the variety that you get and the content that you would have is still a lot more reasonable. And I actually fully agree with you, because I was going through that analysis when I was looking at Netflix. The question that always comes up is Netflix versus Disney, right? So that's why out of these 5, Netflix my least favorite, because I am a die-hard Disney fan. And I think when I look at, in terms of the universe, Disney was more appealing as a stock as well, because it had revenue generated from multiple sources, right? They had the theme parks, of course, like now with COVID-19 that has taken a hit. Then they also had their sports, right? And they also had the streaming business. They had the content production studios. They had the franchises, selling the rights to all the toys and stuff. Like Frozen was a big hit. So I felt that Disney was a safer stock in that regard, because it had revenues from many different streams where you're less likely to see all of them go down at one time. Whereas Netflix was very, very singular in its focus. Like it started out as being a content platform, distribution platform that started bringing in content creation capabilities. But I think the Netflix vision is very, very singular, and that's the risk that investors would have to take note of if they are invested in Netflix.